that when you're giving your poem that you stay within the viewing box? That was another thing second hour did. They moved out of they were like standing over here so you could see like half of them.
I don't, you couldn't see me at all.
What?
When I did it on now, you couldn't see me at all.
Well, that's not why we do this. It's not why we do this.
My mom wasn't watching.
It doesn't matter. It's not why we do this. So, yeah, clicker is there. Everybody's set. Ready to get this party started? All right.
For my water. I didn't get much.
Whenever you're ready.
I love food, and I love a good book, and I love a good cup of tea in the early morning chill. But this word love, I use it to describe very simple, basic things. I throw this word around so flippantly, so casually, and all these things, they're very materialistic and ultimately meaningless. But what is this thing that I love is a person? Does it mean something more? Possibly. A wise person once told me that love is a choice and not a feeling. When I choose to love someone, I ignore the things about them that annoy me, that maybe bother me about them. And I choose to love them for who they are and not for what they did. The same wise person also told me that happiness is a choice and not a feeling. When I choose to be happy, I force myself to focus on all that I have and rather than what I don't have. Just feeling like being happy can lead me to think about all that I don't have, all that I think I need, all that, that one thing that I have that I think will make me happy, the thing I feel like will make my life better. But when I choose to be happy, I force myself to focus on the things in this moment in life that make me happy, rather than focusing on stuff that I don't have. The key to happiness is not searching for something that I need to have, or someone that I need to have. It's being content with what you have, where you are in the moment. Rather than just choosing to be happy, choosing to be happy, or choosing to love, or rather than feeling like being happy or feeling like loving someone, I need to choose to love someone for who they are, or be happy with what I have.
Is that water making?
What?
Yeah, is that what I hear? Good. I guess so. All right, I'll just turn it on.
Oh, you're shining it? Ms. March, can you sign into this because it's not signed in this year?
Into my page?
Yeah, it's not signed in like it's into Google on Zoom.
Awesome.
I open up my day like a child opens a present. Ever so exciting. What the day holds is enticing, but reality, what happens, deflates my aspirations like crushed Coca-Cola cans. But my family is my foundations that help me hold on to my plans. I can't say I have any idea of what I'm doing. This name I've inherited is a constant idea of who I can be. Plans and ideas flowing. But if I take this road less traveled, will I just lose sight of where I'm going? What if I come up short? What if my brain screams abort and so I go on the last resort and bottle up my ideas inside my head like a bound fort? I cower behind these rhymes because what if I don't know what I'm going to do after the times of high school end and I'm thrust like Simba into the world upon a mountain of schemes and propositions? What if I slip and tumble like a tumbleweed? The raven on my shoulder that quoth nevermore eats away at my confidence like bird feed. But one thing I know is that my family is there for me. And even through all the calamity, and even when my hopes and dreams reach overcapacity, they'll be with me like my cavalry. I really like tater tots. A lot. Anyway, who would I be without humor? Whilst I want to spread a laugh like a benevolent ruler, ruling a castle of enjoyment, but when it comes to witty one-liners, I've hit on employment, worrying that behind every chuckle is concealed disappointment. But hey, laughter's the best medicine. I want to overdose on jokes and sarcasm, living behind a cloak of enthusiasm. Rumor has them. Humor's grim, and I don't want life to be grim. I want to show the world that even with smiles are just a pseudonym, and that we are all living under them. And if I can get people to smile, then this thing I've written will be worthwhile. I just want to show people what goes on behind the plastered smiles, drawn on like crayon. That if a joke is what keeps us going, then that's a crutch to walk on, and that's okay. I try to live by these two defining principles of family and humor. The very glue that hold my personality together. They allow me to make myself better in ways I can't measure. But who am I kidding? I'm still struggling to keep my head confined to these two topics. I'm worried that my words will be lost in a void that is something we've all been assigned. I don't mean for what I say to sound unconfined, undermined, undefined. I want to leave this state of mind, but these thoughts that I've written down are just my brain unfiltered. And I want this message to be considered. Maybe today isn't such a good day, but if you don't feel like you have a leg to stand on, I will be there with my bad puns and dad jokes. Even if you feel like happiness is just a hoax, I'm going to try my very best to paint you a brighter picture with abstract brushstrokes. That's all, folks.
Can somebody who late yesterday stand up and sit at my desk? I can do it.
So do.
Huh?
Yes. Yes.
That is a good title for a time one.
I was 7 years old when I got in my first fight with my friend, over Wii Sports, tennis, of course. I was crying as I walked home that day. Yet 2 days later, he was at my house, and we were best friends again, playing Wii Sports once again. I soon realized that friendships were created to last forever. And the connection creates something very special, very strong. Elementary school was built around friendships. From learning how to color and sing the ABCs, it was friendships that mattered at the end of the day. These friendships and many others influenced my success throughout my life, up to now. Through sports, school, and everything else in between, success has been present throughout my life. And although I don't remember it, success came within my first breath, the first time I talked, and the first time I walked. Success is everywhere and everyone, present every second of the day. Everyone is striving for success, striving for something that we can't see. And it's something that decides whether you have a roof over your head at night. These days, my life has been built around success, and I know that I'm striving for success within my life. I'm guessing that success is the blessing that has been given to me within my life. It's kind of like the dressing on every salad. The final ingredient. Everything has been built and made for this one last ingredient to finally be applied, helping me reach the top. But I've noticed that success has been measured by what other people think of you, not what I think of myself. Success isn't based upon the way you dress. It's a process that includes a lot of stress. When I know that I'm a long ways away from success, but I know that once I reach my goal, it will bring me things like happiness, joy, friendship, and money, hopefully. When I'm 75 and I'm sitting on my lawn chair in the front yard, yelling at people who let their pets relieve themselves on my yard, I hope to see the world full of success and friendships. These things can bring or can fill the world with happiness.
Oh, I do. Which arrow is it? Okay. I go? Yes, okay. 12 years ago, she passed on. Even though it wasn't her fault, she still left. And she left her family really broken. She left my sister and me with the man she married. She thought she knew him, but he turned out to be different when she left. Neither of us got along with him well, which created a new challenge for us to face, a challenge in which no other person understood. How could they? People asked me about my parents when I was younger, and I would just lie and say, but my parents worked a lot, so I rarely saw them. It was easier than telling them she had died. It was easier on me because it stopped me from crying every time that somebody asked. It was easier on them because nobody knew how to react to those news at that age. It just created an awkward silence that was hard to break. These challenges were a struggle, but it taught me to appreciate the little things in life that give me happiness, including friendship. Friendship has been something that I know I can rely on through the times that my young brain was too innocent to even begin to estimate the troubles I was about to encounter.
Friendship has brought me,
Friendship has brought me happiness beyond words.
even though
The never-ending stupid teenage girl drama puts me in a difficult spot puts me in a difficult spot at times, I've always been able to find something else that made me happy, including sports. Sports have been something to release my stress and anger. From gymnastics, where I wanted so badly to be like my older sister, but not enough to quit after hurting my toe walking in, to soccer, where I kick things with my toes all the time, to basketball, where we could not make a basket to save our life, to volleyball, where I could just imagine all of my stress and anger on one point. There's no better feeling than hitting your palm straight in the face. And
whatever sport.
whatever sport I played, it was a distraction from all the things going on in my life. From an hour-long break from being grounded to a break from endless homework. And then there are holidays. Holidays bring me so much joy and happiness because it's a time where the messed up family that I have gets together and celebrates all the good things that have happened in life. It's a time where we focus on the positives and not the sucky downsides that do happen. I did go through things that I can never wish upon anyone because I know how hard it was to live through and it sucks. But I am beyond grateful for it happening because it has made me who I am today. That's it. Can I go? All right. Okay. Dear younger me, I have a question for you. What is happiness? Well, by definition, it's a state of well-being and contentment, a chemical reaction in the brain. But it's not really. People believe that happiness is some goal that needs to be achieved. People think that they just need to reach happiness, that once they attain happiness, they will finally be satisfied. But that's not how it works. Happy isn't a video game level to beat. Happy isn't a job promotion. It's not graduating, not being rich, being able to do whatever you want. Happy isn't some final destination on the journey of life. But if it isn't all these things, then what is happiness? Well, happiness is when in the 3rd grade a new girl walks into class and you first meet one of your best friends. It's when you start spending all your time with her and you start a new adventure together and go into the 6th grade. It's forming your own little circle there of laughter, love, and togetherness. It's realizing that all those new friends are now family to you. Happiness is your 13th birthday party when a bunch of friends came over. You stayed up all night long laughing. It's when your mom comes downstairs and yells at you and your friends to be quiet, then just laughing even louder. Happiness is learning, not just in school, but exploring the world around you with people you love. Happiness is not learning that you're going to lose all that. Happiness is not having to say goodbye to all of your friends, hoping that maybe one day you can see them again. Happiness is
Not starting school.
Oh, yeah. Happiness is not starting school scared out of your mind, wondering if you'll ever have friends that are as great as your friends back home. Happiness is realizing that this is your home, that you will have friends and they're going to be amazing, even better than your friends back home. Happiness is starting high school, starting a new adventure, expanding your horizons. Happiness is making the cheer team, realizing that all of these amazing girls are your second family. Happiness is the little things like eating Oreos every night or snuggling with your dog. Happiness is the big things like traveling to visit friends and family. Happiness is everywhere, and happiness is wherever home is. After 14 years, I've learned how contradicting this world is. From fairy tales to friendship fails, from happy memories to when you're practically begging on your knees. You constantly think you know, but in reality, you're still just a child thinking you've had enough experience to contribute to the adult conversation. After 14 years, I've learned that we need to take a step back, that we have bigger fish to fry, that we have problems here on Earth, and we're trying to get to Mars. 95% of the ocean remains undiscovered. Millions of people die, and war after war, countless issues upon issues remain unsolved. All we have to do is pause. After 14 years, I've learned we need to be happy to be good at school, that knowledge is a privilege and should not be taken for granted, that you need a good laugh just as much as you need a good cry. I know that friends are the most important thing you can have, and it's not something to be taken lightly. After 14 years, I've learned that to appreciate the small things, to appreciate the bad memes my friends laugh at, to appreciate the mother-daughter days of fun that happen a few times a year. The small things are there to make sure we're still paying attention, like when the teacher purposely makes a mistake to make sure the class is still awake. After 14 years, I've learned that everything happens for a reason, that one crush that didn't work out was actually bad for your well-being, that one friend who ditched you was actually bad for you. Maybe our decisions are dictated by a higher power, or maybe the fact that everyone makes them for us unknowingly. After 14 years, I've learned that you've got to be prepared so you don't get scared. That you've got to study for that one test when you'd rather be watching Netflix. That you've got to bring a snack if you know you're going to be waiting a while. Being prepared is your best bet, and you're never going to know unless being prepared is your best bet, because you never know what life's going to throw at you next. After 14 years, I've learned how great my friends are, how they never fail to make me laugh, how they're always there for me. Friendships are something that don't just happen, and you have to nurture it and work for them. After 14 years, I've learned how to cope with all that life throws at you, how to use what I have instead of wish for something I don't, how to utilize my friendships to get through something. Using what I've learned throughout my life to protect what I value most has led me to a pretty good place. After 14 years, I've learned that life is one heck of a ride, but you'll never know unless you get on.
Okay. Money cannot buy happiness, and for some people that is true. But money can buy experiences, and experiences are fuel for my happiness. I want to experience everything everywhere, and money can be my airplane. I want the ability to lift up off the ground be the little bird who flew free, and money can be my feathery wings, because any life with wealth will be liberating. The chains that held me down will vanish like the ground beneath me, as I rise up into the welcoming clouds, as they will be the ones to guide me to a new destination, for me to listen and learn about the people and culture who will soon surround me. All I've ever needed for my life is the ability to explore. And that might sound like something every teenager has once said, but all I've ever wanted is to be everywhere since the day I can remember. When I was young, all I ever did was wander. And my parents would say that they had lost me, but I was never lost, just out of sight, because being lost is a feeling, but wandering is a type of being. And if money were my friend, I would take it around the world with me, and we can roam together everywhere. And from there, we will teach each other about responsibility and generosity. And if people thought we made the worst of friends, I would tell them that we were friends because we adventure together, and that is the best friendship we could possibly have. However, money will never be a personal thing to me. It will be a tool for me to use to reach my destinations overseas. And once I reach my unplanned stop, I'll become a harbor for people's history. And for every person I meet, I'll paint their face into a never-ending painting, so that one day, when I'm old and worn, I can revisit the time with those people around the world. Because their stories are not pictures in my head, but an art piece. Because a picture is only worth 1,000 words, but their stories are worth so much more. So, even if those people have left this earth and can no longer share their journeys, they will live on with everyone I've shared their story with. And that is what I dream my life will be like. So, I hope money and I will meet, and I can take it around the globe with me, and finally become the little bird who flew free.
They say honesty is the best policy. Well, when you're honest, you have so much more to lose. But with that risk comes more to gain. Putting on a facade is simple, but is it more easy than to accept honesty? I surround myself in situations where I can be honest in order to have as much control as possible. There's no way to grow unless you accept honesty and embrace honesty in your daily life. Authenticity is vital. The only lack of honesty provides the illusion of power, a fleeting moment of peace, never lasting. But authenticity can save us all. There are the values you have and the values you want: power and passion, honesty and love. They say honesty is the best policy. Once I start, I can't stop. The words spill like water from a broken glass. At what point do I stop? The putting on facade, the more facades you wear, the easier it is to lose yourself. You find yourself slipping away. And you find out who you want to be isn't who they want you to be. After curating persona after persona, you lose the truth, a series of events, not personality traits. In the effort of becoming elusive, losing my sense of reality. Not dedicating myself to anything, a drifting boat. Because no matter how many goals I fulfill, I'll still be empty because I'm not being honest. They say honesty is the best policy. And as I try to be as honest as possible, I try to live life, live in the moment. Lack of honesty provides the illusion of power. With honesty comes vulnerability. And there's no other way to strengthen your bonds with others than through being vulnerable, through being honest. Because without honesty, you don't have anything.
Oh yeah, that's good. You should do that in your recess. Did she tell you to?
This morning.
With the airplane.
There are voices in my head. Their supremacy never ceases. Their thoughts fill up my head with rain, each word a droplet, each dispute a storm. The water crashes down in torrents, washing away the chalk on the sidewalk, soaking any who dare oppose it. A sheet of rain covers the window, obscuring the view, bringing the once crisp lines into nothingness. Clouds overtake the sun, the landscape darkens until nothing can be seen. I hide in my house, the roof above blocking the rain. I like it in here. It's small, a little cluttered. Okay, really cluttered, but at least the rain doesn't get in. There are random notes strewn throughout the rooms, putting order to the disorder. The light fixtures don't match, but it's okay. The gloom comes from above, but I've got my little house, that little window to see through. And in here I can still hear the rain, the words, the whispers of the sky that waft through the crack into the door and plant themselves in my mind. But at least it's quieter. It's all a little quieter. Some days I realize I must go outside. I must venture from my safe little corner into a ruthless, unforgiving world. I must go and get something from that monstrous landscape out there, something I left behind. Some days I don't even know what it is, just that it will haunt me, and the rain will attack me, and the sky will bombard me like I'm its next meal. I might never return. Nevertheless, I trudge to the door. My hand trembles on the handle. I open it anyways. I take a step, then another. With each movement, the storm threatens to consume me, to crush me into oblivion so that the world will never see me again. I don't think I'll make it. Then I remember something I left back at the house. I caught a glimpse of it, just maybe, but I know that it's there. I run back at the house. No, I don't run. I sprint. I dash. I fly as fast as I possibly can. Suddenly, I'm there. The door is swinging open, and I see it. A collection of umbrellas of all different shapes and sizes. There could be hundreds of them, thousands. They take up the expanse of an entire wall. Some are old and dilapidated, but others are bright and new. I take an umbrella, step outside, and open it. Little water droplets fling off in all directions, but none of them can reach me. Suddenly, I'm protected from the destruction that pours from above. Suddenly I'm protected from the destruction that pours from above. The sky is lifted off my shoulders. I can walk outside, and there's not a raindrop that can touch me, not a word that can hurt me, not a voice that can stop me. Each umbrella is its own. The one with bright polka dots is my friend's encouraging smile. The strong-handled, dependable one is my mother's words of wisdom and wit. The umbrella that looks a little different every day is the song that courses through my head. The little adorable umbrellas when my extremely antisocial cat jumps on my bed in the middle of the night and wants me to pet her. Those umbrellas, they are what save me from the endless abyss that awaits me outside. The rain might pour. The words might be louder than everything else. Voices might threaten my very being, but I will always have an umbrella.
Did you apologize for interrupting your speech? That was amazing. If you go out of the room, don't come in when somebody's in the room.
Did it right.
That's to everyone.
May did it. She was good.
Yeah, she waited.
Love and influence, a confluence, a hand in the glove. They don't shove, they make room for others, open up their heart to the world around them. They're in close collaboration, association, and cooperation, intertwining, never flowing. They weave a blanket so silky, soft, smooth, and shimmering as you wrap yourself in it and never want to let go. They protect you against the world because the world is unforgiving and unpredictable. Love the person who smothers you in your warmth when you scrape your knee, who reads you a bedtime story and kisses you goodnight, then comes back to check under the bed for monsters. That love should fly free like a dove. It should be caged up inside of you. Love is the person who cares for you, who loves you for who you are and who you will be. That love should soar like a plane, be the plane that liberates the prisoners of war.
Love is bright.
Love is a bright spot in this world. It works so that you can go to school and get a job, so that you can get that sweater all your friends have and get that game you really, really want. Influence. Well, influence is the other half of the story. Influence is the match that leads the way through the darkness. One little flame is something, but 10,000 is a bonfire. We're all matches, and we're all burning. The flame is our ideas, and walk close enough to one another, and you smolder. And if you're lucky, then you burn brighter than the day before. Influence is the person who scares the monster away, amidst such presence that they are the sun and their followers are the planets. Martin Luther King Jr. He was just a flame versus the world. He wasn't a sun. He was a black hole. He had a whole galaxy of planets orbiting. He surrounded himself with love and radiated that love out to anyone willing to accept him. He's an extraordinary man born in an ordinary time.
He is the same.
He's the same as Albert Einstein and Thomas Jefferson. He's the same as everyone in this room. All you have to do is influence all of the worlds around you. He united a nation with one fell swoop. He was a man who is remembered forever. Love is influence if you let yourself be loved, and influence is love if you let yourself be influenced. They're about influencing all of the worlds around you, not just a single group. Who will you be?
Sarah, what do you want?
Where's the clicker? Raise your hand if you've ever had a tough time in life. Raise your hand if you've ever been hurt or hurt somebody else. Raise your hand if you've ever been the game of a hunting party that might have called themselves the jocks, or the cool kids, or the popular kids. Now raise your hand if you could tell me that you are 100% happy with everything going on in your life right now. Yeah. See, I know firsthand high school is tough. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, I was in a bit of a tough situation myself. People calling me names, spreading rumors, making claims, degrading me for something that they didn't even know to be true. And here, I thought my life wouldn't continue. And all I had done was told the truth. See, the people that I had thought were close to me, which I had spent my youth looking down on me as if I had just committed the worst crime imaginable, they made those feelings of pure disappointment almost tangible. They classified me in such a manner as if I were a criminal. Like an animal, I was trapped in a cage of lies and deceit, trying to stand up for myself, only to be thrown back on the ground and to be beat. And honesty was the only way I could pull myself out of this 1,000-foot hole I had unknowingly and unwillingly jumped into. Someone with the name of John Lennon once said that being honest may not get you a lot of friends, but it always gets you the right ones. See, I know now that is true because the only people who stayed by my side were the truest of friends, who knew that no matter what the circumstance, I would never lie to their face like others might lie to theirs. They knew, they took that honesty, they turned it into genuine trust, and they stuck with me no matter what other rumors people try to force down their ears. See, people can see a truthful person as either someone with just another opinion or someone who is genuine. And at this moment, I know that there's no denying who is really there for me. There's no denying who really cared for me. Now I can differentiate between who I should and should not be around. I can surround myself with the people who want to see me grow and learn, like a sapling from the ground. The people who want to see me succeed rather than the ones who just want to see me bleed. Now I can differentiate, now there's no denying who really cared about what I said, not only for their better interests, but for my own. There was no denying who really cared about the honesty that I had shown. And all I had done was told the truth.
The definition of happiness is the state of being happy. But what does happiness really mean? Well, for some people, happiness is when they're on vacation, or when they were little, and on Christmas morning, they finally got to rip the wrapping paper off their presents. But for me, happiness isn't just special moments. It's the small things in my life. Happiness is when my friend and I can't stop laughing in class, and we're scared of getting caught. Or when someone tells a joke, and every time I think of it, I can't help but laugh. Happiness is love and laughter and everything that will make me smile. And happiness loves to dance, and happiness loves to sing. She loves doodling and music and going on road trips and vacation and just about everything in between. She appreciates things that are old, yet she's still fond of what is new. You see, she loves classic rock music. She finds it almost therapeutic. And she loves new movies. They're pretty creepy. And she's always wanted to live a rich, elegant life. But she also wants to live in a van on a never-ending road trip, always on the move. But the truth is, it's not those things that make her her. Of course, she loves road trips and vacations and music and movies. But what makes her her is when she's on vacation and she's at the beach and she can feel the soft, warm sand on her feet. Or when she's in the mountains and she can smell the campfire. So, what really is happiness? The definition of happiness is, well, whatever makes you content. But what does that really mean? I'm not sure. All I know is what happiness means to me. For me, happiness isn't just special moments. It's the small things in my life. It's the small things we need to hold on to. And yes, I'm terrified of what's to come. But I just think of the new happy memories to be made.
Throughout my life, I've learned that friendship is one of the most important relationships that you can have. My experiences and the people around me that were involved in them have really contributed to the person I am today. I could not have become this person without my friends. In the end, I'm so grateful for them.
They've helped me through everything.
They've helped me through everything. In my opinion, sometimes friends are more important than family because friends are the people that you choose to surround yourself with. My friends are there for me just as much as my family, but I think the difference is my friends have a choice. I rejoice that they choose to always support me. On my first day of kindergarten, I was so excited to go to school and make real friends that would last me a lifetime. I never realized this, but kindergarten was so much easier. Then there was middle school. I know a lot of people say that they hated middle school, but for me, middle school was the best part of my life. I used to hope it would never end. I think that's part of the reason why I wasn't very excited to be going into high school. All my friends were splitting up, and I didn't really know how I felt about that. I still don't. My friends are really important to me, and I don't know what I'd ever do without them.
I'm not saying it's easy.
And I'm not saying it's easy. Sometimes we get in fights, and there's nights where the last thing I want to do is talk to them, but we always work out the problem, and it just makes our friendship stronger. At the beginning of the year, my friend Ella and I were trying to figure out a fall sport we could do together, so we decided on field hockey. I never played before, but now I can't wait to play next year as a sophomore because it didn't really matter if we were actually good at the sport because I'm happy to report that it was super fun and I made a lot of new friends. Also, I think part of the reason why I enjoyed it so much is by the end of the season, I scored 2 goals. And
If my friend had convinced
if my friend hadn't convinced me to try out, I would have never discovered how much I enjoyed field hockey.
friendship is
Friendship isn't easy. There's always going to be ups and downs, twists and turns, but I've learned that it's the most worthwhile thing in my life.
A few weeks ago, I woke to the nose of my dog at the edge of my bed, her tail wagging. My immediate reaction was to grab her leash, to take her for a walk, breathe in the fresh air. But instead I studied, and I panicked about the test I knew was coming my way. It killed me to know that I was spending short amounts of time with the one whose time was only growing shorter. All you can do is keep her as comfortable and as happy as possible. Inspiring yet disheartening words of her vet echoed in my ear. But how could I give values to her if for me they had yet to appear? Comfort and happiness. I asked myself, why is this not the way I'm taught to shape my life? Comfortable and happy. Why do the things that bore me, frighten me, anger me, get to take away the one thing that can never be replaced? Time. If life is so short, why is only the shortest portion spent comfortable and happy? But as I envied what something as simple as a dog had achieved after 13 years, I realized that in attempting to compare our lives, I neglected the fact that there was a life before adoption, a life that reasons her fear of bicycles and justifies her ones at large figures. And I knew that even for her, life wasn't always comfort and happiness. The thing keeping my mind enveloped in those questions, those that demanded life to be a walk in the park, was resentment I held towards any boulder that threatened to block my landmark. And as I pictured a life, one that seemed so effortless and simple, I found its own obstacle, the life of puppy that left a puppy crippled. And I understood that being too short to see over a boulder, too short to see a destination where worries fade away with the breeze, never has to ruin a walk in the park. Although a boulder will always be there, so will the blue skies and the flowers hiding in plain sight. It's your choice which to photograph, your choice to fret, or your choice to live. I'd say choose the comfort and choose the happiness. They become the rungs of the ladder that will build the strength to guide you, to carry you over any boulder that comes in your way. I have accepted that I can't live in a constant sense of ease, but I've also accepted that I can stay up for the ending of the movie. I can spend a weekend away from homework. I can and I must set aside time for the things that make my life worth living, for the little pieces of comfort and happiness.
Once there was a girl who was in awe of her grandpa, who risked his life for strangers. He ran into danger while everyone else ran the other way. She wanted to be like him. She loved to visit him in his firehouse more than she wanted to visit Minnie Mouse. She begged every day to visit.
Who's next? Who's next?
Harris.
Harris.
Yeah. Okay.
Paris, whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay.
It's gonna be amazing.
Beauty. B-E-A-T-Y. Oh, did I forget the U again? That spells beauty. Whatever. My common response to those who deny my beauty and to those who try and bolster my confidence, showering me with compliments. So many that I don't know what's genuine and what's just trying to capture my attention. But the coins in my pockets I've saved to pay for attention, I've gone and spent, all wasted on finding my flaws. So I deny the compliments, no matter how true, even if I believe it. Because as soon as I show the slightest bit of self-confidence, I'm immediately narcissistic. Isn't that funny? They've always told me to be happy in my own skin, but as soon as I am, I become shamed by my peers. As soon as I hold my head higher, my smile broader, and my clothes tighter, the whispers grow louder. But why is that? Why can't I be in love with myself and others can't be in love with themselves? It's like the weed of my self-confidence is invading the garden of their being. It's like their own flowers cannot flourish unless they tarnish my roots with the chemicals of rumors. And these rumors cause me to sulk and wilt until finally I'm decomposed. They spritz me down until I become the nutrients that build themselves back up again. Why can't my self-love inspire others? Why can't we all grow side to side and bring each other up? Why is it that I have to say something bad about myself just to get others to say something nice? People like that I call fishermen. They sit on their little boats on the ocean of those who admire them. They fish and fish and fish for compliments, putting their bait on their shining hooks and casting their line out, that solemn line of self-loathing. Those fish they reel in, those compliments they catch, easily lift their spirits. I mean, we all do it. It's so easy to just cast that line out and wait. But why do I need to spit out stuff, like bad stuff about my self, just to get others to say something nice? And when I'm already aware of what is good, I just can't trust myself to believe it. I want to trust self-love, but self-love is such an overused term, it's lost its meaning. Let's come up with a new term. How about be honest with yourself? Because you deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve to know my self-worth and be proud of it. I deserve to acknowledge my flaws and accept them. And I deserve to overload myself without feeling guilty. So now when I look in the mirror and I see my coyote feet to my lanky legs all the way up to my man shoulders, I of course see these flaws and accept them. But I also look in the mirror and find what I like, to be satisfied. So now I can walk away and spend my attention elsewhere.
Check your phone, please do. Okay.
I've come to realize that joy isn't something you search for, but rather a feeling when experienced it, so something tangible turns into something joyous. I find joy in long walks outside when it is snowing. I find joy in hot chocolate with marshmallows and mangoes and apple pie in pretty towns found alongside the highway while in the middle of exploring a new place. I often get the question, is your birthday in May? And to the questioner's disappointment, I say, no, my birthday's in February. And I not only disappoint the person asking me this question, I also find my various actions eventually end up disappointing myself. I put this intense pressure on me to be this perfect human and one who never does anything wrong. I try so hard to be without flaws and make no mistakes, and if I don't complete the challenge up to my fake standards, then I'm a failure and everyone else will see that in me. These mistakes and faults pile up on my shoulders like trash that hasn't been taken out in the past month. They eventually become so heavy that they collapse, and I break down. I'm trying to put myself together, but I'm cutting my hands on the broken pieces of my life and shoving them in places where they don't fit. And I may not be perfect, and I may never be perfect, and I just have to learn to accept that part about me. My hobbies include playing tennis and baking cookies. I'm quick to trust others, but others say that it's hard to trust me back. When I was younger, I used to hear, love yourself, and think, who doesn't? But now, 10 years later, I sit and I think, who does? I struggle with self-acceptance and loving who I am. The courage it takes to get out of bed every morning to face the same things over and over is tremendous. And it takes a lot of effort to put on a smile to try and be happy. But once you learn that it's okay to not be okay, life gets easier. So it's okay to cry once in a while, and it's okay to let your feelings out. My favorite thing in life is watching the sunrise and sunset, because it reminds me to love and be loved.
Only heard it a billion times. Chug chug, yes.
Yeah.
No, chug. Drop the booty in public. One.
Yeah, it's her mom.
Yeah, just take her phone to her mom.
Okay.
Or to her.
Okay. My life has been a bumpy road. There have been ups and downs, cracks and craters. But the one thing that has remained concrete has been my friends. In kindergarten, friendship was easy. All you needed was someone to play with and you were instantly best friends. Life was carefree, up until I got to middle school. As I got older, friendship got more complicated, but overall pretty easy. All over, I found new, loving people looking for new friends to share new memories with. From kindergarten to 6th grade, I was really shy. I was never the one to introduce myself or initiate a friendship. I always waited for people to come to me. In 1st grade, my friend Sawyer introduced me to one of her close friends, also named Sawyer. As soon as Sawyer 2 and I met, we instantly became best friends and kicked Sawyer 1 to the side. Now that I look back on it, I feel kind of bad, but I was 5. Up to this day, we are still best friends, and by that I mean Sawyer 2. Although we don't go to the same high school, we still manage to make time for each other and see each other almost every week. Once I got to middle school, it was like my friends had completely changed, and I was no longer cool enough for them anymore. I still hung out with them sometimes, but it was like our friend group had its own separate subdivision, the popular 5 and then the rest of us. But it didn't matter to me, because in 6th grade, I met my second best friend, Natalie. She was new, and we were both very shy. On the first day of 6th grade, I decided to sit with her. And from then on, I became more and more outgoing. It took a few awkward sleepovers for 2 really shy girls to become best friends who share the best memories. Flash forward to 7th grade, I met my third best friend, Emmy. She transferred from Hamilton to Slavens and was even more shy than I was, but we went together like french fries and a milkshake. 8th grade year came around, and I was so excited when Natalie, Emmy, and I all got into Arapahoe and eventually committed on coming here. Knowing only each other and coming from a school with 70 in a grade to one with 500, making friends was hard. But luckily, Emmy and I joined field hockey and met some of our close friends. But it's harder now. Everyone already knows each other and has their friend groups from middle school, which by no means is their fault, it's just harder. I've had to step out of my comfort zone to meet new friends.
It's just harder.
But yeah, sorry, it's just harder. If only it was kindergarten again, everything would be easier. My friends have been my rock in my life. Throughout, they have stayed loving and supporting. Through all the rough patches, they have, drown out all the sadness in my life, and I'm forever grateful for them.
Yeah, I'll use it.
If kindness were a physical thing, it would be a wave, because one wave causes another wave, just like one kind action causes another. All people are swimmers. Some choose to go against the waves, while others ride with them. What you choose depends on your perspective. The lens you view the world with shows whether you're a surfer who rides the waves or a swimmer who goes against them. Everyone swims in the ocean of kindness. Just surfers ride the waves with confidence. Naturally living a life full of love. With that love, they come hard situations. These surfers have experienced the faults of humanity, and just like me, surfers make mistakes. But how you deal with them shows whether you're a surfer who rides waves or a swimmer who goes against them. Their hearts are full and full of kindness and love. Some surfers may follow the waves, follow the others from trying from trying
To catch up.
trying their best to catch up.
If, hold on, take a deep breath. Okay. You got this. If you want the world to be kind.
If you want the world to be kind, then be kind, because a small act of love causes others to pay it forward.
The swimmers,
The swimmers, however, don't find it that easy. They have experienced hard situations which land them where they are now.
some swimmers constantly deny faith in others.
Some swimmers constantly deny faith in others, and they lose all hope in themselves.
Because
Because
no one knows their situation.
Because no one knows their situation and what they have been through.
How hard they find the ocean can be.
How hard they find the ocean to be, and
Kindness does not come easy to them.
kindness does not come easy to them.
They fight it.
They fight it, they go against the tumbling waves,
Turning in the barrel.
of the wave.
But if they would just turn around.
But if they would just turn around and ride with the waves, they might see what the ocean has to offer.
Simple acts of kindness.
Simple acts of kindness can make someone's day, and if
One little act of compassion.
one little act of compassion
Bringing a huge grin on another's face.
could bring a huge grin on another's face.
And also one of their own.
And also one on their own.
Making others happy makes you happy.
Making others happy makes you happy.
And for all those who don't
And
know,
for all those who don't know how to be kind, kindness is forgiving others, because people make mistakes and no one should be defined by their missteps. Kindness is caring about those who need it the most. Kindness is loving everyone like they're your own family, because you don't know how much someone else needs it. Kindness is
giving.
Kindness is giving to those who need it the most, because you don't know what someone has been through.
Their gratitude is all the
Their gratitude is all the reward you'll ever need.
Kindness is bringing happiness.
Kindness is bringing happiness, because the joy you bring to others makes you happy.
Kindness is consideration.
Kindness is consideration, because others might have gone through worse things than you have.
Kindness is optimistic.
Kindness is optimism, because you can be a little positivity can change the mind of even a pessimist.
Kindness is caring.
Kindness is caring about those who need it the most.
Because everything you say
can affect people in a certain way.
Kindness is just as complex.
Kindness is just as complex as an ocean wave, because
an ocean wave
can
make the swimmer
turn around and ride the waves
of kindness.
Yeah.
I believe in the importance of authenticity. I see myself needing it to be happy. I know that everyone has a real side to them, that being seen is something human, and a human being is something that needs to be seen. I hate that the conversations are forced and that true words aren't spoken. I hate that problems are covered up so reputations remain untarnished. I wonder what in this world is so messed up that I have to hide a huge part of who I am. I know that I want to be real. And to be real, I need to know what I want. I fear that if I am real, no one will be real with me, that no one will join me in being brave enough and stepping up and saying, I am broken too, and here's why. I search to find someone who cares enough to look past flaws, who understands that without flaws, we would not serve a purpose. I want to be actually and exactly who I want to. I want everyone to feel as though they are understood. I hate how many times I hear the words, I'm fine. You're not fine. I'm not fine. We're not all fine. I connect with those who feel like they are not seen and not cared for. I care for those who think they are crazy and those who think they are alone.
I wish someone would just be real.
I wish someone would just be real for one moment, because the problems are real and the pain isn't felt enough for those who need it. I witness people who say, I don't want to seem depressed, but put your stereotypes away. Because what if we took that fear and judgment away? Wouldn't there be less stress? I crave the day that we stop asking about the weather and start asking about the elephant in the room. The day that we get over ourselves and we start to help each other and begin to lift each other's burdens. I hope that one day all emotions will be shared and that no judgment will pass. I miss the sight of a genuine smile. I miss the way that my eyes used to sparkle with light, how much love and care and happiness they held, how they reflected how I feel. I let the sadness set in. I watched as the happiness from my eyes leaked out through tear after tear from night after night. I blame the lack of reality. I blame the want to cover up flaws. I want everyone to know that the flaws are in all of us.
One more time to turn off your phones. I shouldn't hear a single sound when you speak.
Huh? Alright. This too shall pass. This has been a saying that's been a part of my life since I was 6 years old. But I didn't first hear this phrase until earlier this year when my stepdad told me that happiness will come and this sadness shall end. This too shall pass, happiness will come, and I do aspire to be happy, although society can be real ugly. But my family has helped me see how much better things in life can be. Like when I was 9, a new joy came into my life. My little brother Mikey, he's 5 years old now. He helped fill a hole in my heart that I thought would never be filled again. You see, when I was 6, I lost my uncle. It was a pretty tragic night. Sometimes I still can't believe that he's really gone off with the night. But I know he still looks down on me, and I have one memory of my uncle that I will forever keep. It's from when I was 5. I was sitting in a tree and he came to join me. We talked about family, my worries were freed. I still have this photo hanging in my bedroom, and it helps me hold on. It helps me stay strong, and it helps me see that I can someday mean as much to my brother as my uncle did to me. But this too shall pass. Fast forward a few years to 7th grade, and junior high came. Every day felt like a race, but I knew I could escape someday to a land far away, and I did. I'm here now. And I could soar in the sky, happy to be alive with all of my worries left behind. And life hasn't stopped shot me lately, and this happy state of mind I'm in, I'm not racing, I'm just living. And I'm happy because my friends make me laugh, my family loves me, and I couldn't bear to leave this world with the great things ahead of me. And although society may tell me to act differently, I strive to be as happy as I used to be, as happy as I was at the age of 5, as happy as my brother is now. He's exploring the world with a cape on his back, and his curious mind will never lack. But life is what we choose to make it, and I choose to be happy. My brother chooses to be happy with the cape on his back, and with the cape still on mine, I choose to be that little curious kid anxious to see what the world has in store for me. But I'll leave you with this to think. You have brains in your head, your feet in your shoes, and you can steer yourself in the direction you choose.
You start on the second slide, please. 1 second.
Okay. Okay. I wake up every morning at the exact same time. I have the same breakfast every day. Is there a truth in routine? Doing the same thing every day, so be stuck in between? Sticking to what is familiar so know what will happen and what will not? Trusting my instincts and it's not my only shot? Maybe there's a little truth in that. I take the same walk to the bus every day and say good morning to the kind bus driver who wears his Vietnam hat. He says you too without missing a beat. Is there truth in kindness? People can learn so much about others, and the only thing they have to do is be kind. They can learn who doesn't hear good morning enough. They can learn why some people just don't feel like smiling today. They can learn so much about the outside world and so much about their own world within. Maybe there's a little truth in kindness. And I talk, the person sitting next to me, or behind me, or in front of me. Can I find truth in conversation? I'd ask them, hey, what's up? They'd reply with their yesterday. I'd talk about what I'm doing today. They'd say whatever's on their mind. And I would listen. I would listen because I like to listen, interact, because they might just need to talk to someone today. And now I know a little more about the person sitting next to me. Maybe there's a little truth in conversation. When I fly into school like a bird atop a tree and I watch the world below me. I watch the people shuffle in, watch them talk before going to their desks, watch the teacher gathers things before the bell, and I watch a clock as it turns and rings and everything settles down. And then I watch and I listen to the teacher or my classmates, and then the class ends just like that. The next one comes and ends, and another. But the moments in the middle of it all, the moments where the world is spinning but you are just standing there. The moments where everyone else is sprinting ahead of you but you don't even know where they're going. The moments where you hear something whispered into your ear but you know that you're alone. The moments where you know you need something desperately but you don't even know what you need. The moments where chaos is the only thing that you see. In those moments, you can find the most truth in the people surrounding you. They'll be the ones who can adapt and survive, ones who will boost to keep going, ones that will see the fall and help them get up, and the ones that will kick them back down to get ahead. In all the chaos in life, truth will show itself. And by the end of the day, I've learned that the truth is all around me.
You want to say goodbye to your mom?
My mommy.
I don't think my mom's watching. No, I don't.
Bye, parents.
We're gonna just log off here.
Anyway.